All right, another episode of the RSL Random Fan Podcast. We're going to be chatting about the victory down in Houston. I'm your host, Brandt Goebel, joined by Tyler Thomas and Brennan Amunja. So great to see everybody. It's always better when we're in person, but we can pretend like we're tech savvy and do this, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, want to jump into the game? Anybody have the lineups? If not, I have it ready to go.
Go for it,
Did
man.
I did have it ready to go until like
Really. Way
my
to go.
fat
Your
my fat
podcasting prep
fingers.
work.
Yeah, just wiped out all of my hard-working prep,
All
trying to
right.
be
So there was
prepared,
this guy
trying to
in
be
goal,
professional.
and his name was Rafa Cabral.
Yep, Cabral in goal. And then a little bit of change in the back line. We had Hidalgo starting at right back, Justin Glad. Next to him, Brian Vera, Sam Junqua on the left, Ojeda and Nelly in the middle, and then budding superstar Diego Luna on the outside. Diego Gonzalez, soon to be a quality DP in the middle there, Dominic Markzuk, the antagonizer, the Houston antagonizer on the right and and then RF Piol up top. So, any thoughts on that starting lineup?
Brennan.
It kind of feels like we're still in the decision of what our starting 11 is at the moment. Um, I don't like seeing Cutranis out. I want to see him start every single time. I like that Piol is getting the starting position over Ajago for the moment. And then our tried and true Nelly and Ojeda. Still feels a little shaky in that lineup, in my opinion.
Yeah, I liked it, but I was a little worried with Junqua rather than. But he's a big physical defender, and he's not tall, but he's thick. Like the dude's kind of broad, you know what I mean? He kind of sticks his shoulder into people's throats and stuff. Kind of like that, man. He's getting into them and kind of giving them shoulder under the chin action, you know? And so I kind of like his physicality, but going forward, he's no Catranas.
No, and
that's Hidalgo struggled too here and there, but played very defensively, which I guess that's what we need, right?
Yeah, I'm not too high on Hidalgo at the moment.
We didn't do anything that cost us the game or anything, right? It wasn't
No,
like,
no, but
swinging and missing. But at the end, he was worrying me. The last 20 minutes, yikes, that was scary. I mean, we'll get to that.
Yeah, and I agree with you too. I thought the Junqua that was interesting. Maybe Catranas was spending too much time forward and not getting back, and they really wanted to focus on have a little more defensive posture. I think Pablo talked about that in the post game, about being a little bit more defensive, if I remember right.
Yeah, and their right side is Bossy and Ladero. So Bossy, I just find so many reasons to dislike that guy. You know, I just want to knock that guy over. You know, just give me old Sam Junqua.
Yeah, Escobar and Dominic Marchuk that really got to know each other, and I don't think they like each other at all.
Right? That was fun.
They were going at each other right from the get-go, it seemed like.
Yeah.
But we did have some excitement right from the get-go. 43 seconds in, RSL scored.
Not the fastest goal in RSL history. Not even the fastest goal in RSL at Houston history. Because, Brandt, you know this one, right? Come on. Who scored it?
I can't remember. I'm getting too old.
Javi Morales.
Oh, okay.
El Maestro. Javier Morales. I think it was 30 seconds in. 28, somewhere in there. And boom, man, that was a cool start to that game. Because Houston had dominated us for so long, and I think we ended up winning 3-1 or 3-2 on that game. But
that's crazy you can remember that. Like that's almost like a bit of autism. That's a strong thing. No, not in a bad way. It's like, you know what I mean? Like when you have a little bit of tism, it's because you have this unique trait that is able to just be high efficiency in one area.
Or a fascination with something very thoroughly, right?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no, definitely I do that with Real Salt Lake. So, yeah, no, that was one of my favorite moments of quite some time, you know? Especially because we always lost in Houston. But you know what? The humidity wasn't a big deal. We went down when it was early, and before the heat of the summer and the humidity comes up off the ocean. What does it come off of there? It's like a river. I mean,
it's just
like a marshland. It's horrible. Houston's rough, man. How do so many people live there?
I don't know. Maybe they got lost. and it
Yeah.
stuck there.
Everyone's
They ran
flocking
out
over
of
there. What are you
gas.
talking about?
So yeah, it was a nice. I like the build up. Diego Luna was a superstar in this game because he started the play down the left side. He dug the ball out kept the ball in, and I think they went back and forth with Anelli and then Piol got it back to Anelli, who slid it across the box, and Diogo is right there where you want him to be. It wasn't that easy of a shot. I watched the replay. It looks like it bounces right before his foot.
Yeah.
And he takes it nice and clean and beats the
Very.
keeper and put a shot on frame, which that's the start, right? Get that ball on frame and make
Well,
him make a play.
the craziest thing is the fact that Mark Zook was also wide open. Like the fact that we had two outlets just literally wide open. That boom, that's insane. We haven't had that
Yeah, it
all
was
year.
crazy because Pule slid the one central defender all the way wide. So when he got the ball, it was really aware of him to play it right back to Anelli, who just kept rushing down, man. He just kept going for it, and pretty soon he played another one too, and he's in behind, and before Houston even knows what's happening, they're down 1-0. Love it. Beautiful.
Yeah, and then you were hoping that the route was on, but it's still Houston. They are missing two people that one of them that I think we liked, the other one I think consensus was we were glad to see him go in Carrasquilla. Not that he's not a great player, just annoying,
Yeah.
right? He's a player that just abuses. He was abusing RSL and last season and the season before. And
Hector
Griffin Dorsey
Herrera.
also, I think when without a couple of those without the those two main guys, Griffin Dorsey wasn't as effective. He still kind of found his way into the game occasionally, but I am kind of a fan of Griffin Dorsey. But
See,
Hector Herrera Ache was not there as well. So
well,
similar
and
team, similar in that they're trying to rebuild or redefine what their team is and losing some players. Not as many as RSL, obviously, but
well, they got Jack McGlynn, and he's a young guy, but he's still, coming along, and he's, 6 foot, 160, so slender, tall guy, plays good with both feet, but he's quite a left-footed player. I mean, he swung in their goal that counted, and then he's only 21 years old, and he's right up there with getting invites to the national team right now. So I think the worry in Philly was that he was gonna outgrow Philly, and so they kind of traded him before that happened. But they had a
yeah,
coach turnover too, so
yeah, Philadelphia is another team that's kind of like trying to, for some unknown reason, change their team culture. It seemed like maybe
well,
they
they
want to
had a
spend
down
a little
year,
bit more
got rid of the
money.
coach. Out they go, which is interesting. And before we get too far away from it, I kind of want to roll back to the bench. Steiduhar as the backup keeper, Pablo Ruiz, Javane Brown, T Wolf. I'm just going to call him Teen Wolf from now on. Kind of sounds like him saying Teen Wolf, but
Yeah, he's probably
no,
never heard that at all.
no, it's just T Wolf. So
Oh,
Philip Quinton, Palacio, Catranas, Jago, and Lachlan Brook made up the bench. So
yeah, we'll have to see what happens in upcoming games. See if Brooke gets some minutes and maybe ask what he's got to do. Xavier Gozo got called up. Looks like he won't be around, but for a game or two. But Brooke and Gozo are two players that people are really hoping to see get some minutes, and we'll have to ask how close they are, what they're doing not to have minutes.
yeah, along with Aiden Harzagani. You know him. We actually interviewed him. Brandt and I did. So you weren't there,
I was like,
Brennan.
dude, who is this dude?
So he's one of the four guys that just got signed, the four academy products that came of
Yeah.
age and were offered RSL contracts.
Wait, was he the striker or?
Yeah, he's like a attacking mid.
Yeah.
Aiden Hezarkhani, and I said it slow
Hezarkhani.
and deliberate on purpose. But yeah, he's the curly-haired kid. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay.
kind of got a little swagger to him. He's kind of a bigger kid, about 6 feet tall, a little bit thicker. He's putting in some good shifts at the Monarchs recently. So good for Aiden.
Yep. And then also, this was an interesting game too, because if you look at the stats, basically possession was even. I think Houston had 50.6 and RSL 49.4, something like that. It
Yeah,
was pretty even, and it was really resembled in a lot of ways the San Diego game, where it was like fast break, back and forth, up and down the field. And I thought about what Pablo said In the post game, he wants a boring game or a game that's, he appreciates the fact that those type of games are exciting for the fans, but coaches, they want a little more control. They want to have their team put their imprint on the game and control the other team. So they kind of went back and forth. And Houston started to get some nice opportunity. And if I remember right, didn't Piol, someone from RSL, a few minutes after the first goal, had an opportunity to put us up 2-0 and kind of sent it over? Am I remembering that right?
Yeah, I thought it was Diogo,
Yeah.
maybe. Anyway, but then not too long after that, after actually a pretty good spell of possession from Houston, they win the free kick and Jack McGlynn with that sweet 21-year-old left foot just whips a ball in, just how Brennan likes it,
So good.
right up low and hard and right at the back post. And Houston rose up and knocked it home. Ponce, their pouncing striker, which is kind of what I keep thinking of. It's like Ponce.
Your word association.
Guy's kind of a
No,
pouncer of a player.
yeah, it was a brilliant ball. I mean, that's so hard to mark, and there's not much our defenders can do because that was just clean, straight to him, headed straight down. You wish you'd have goals like that every game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
they were
do when
down.
you have taller players.
No, he's not that tall. Hey.
Well, I watched the highlight a couple of times, and Anelli kind of got turned. Ponce got in front of Anelli, and he was behind him. And how do you miss that? Well, you wait a few minutes, and then you miss it again. But anyway, there was nothing that Cabral could do. I mean, he was getting over there, but he drilled it straight down and into the goal, and it was another set piece goal given up by RSL. Are you guys getting concerned that we're tend to give up a few of
Well,
those goals so far
to
this
me,
season?
the biggest concern is Anelli's marking. Like he's there, but he's not jumping with them and stuff. So I don't know if that's. I think maybe we found a slight weakness in Anelli's game. He's not great at man marking on set pieces,
Kryptonite.
right? I mean, I think he's given up 3 this year, right? He gave up that corner in San Jose. That was his guy.
Glad also gave up one.
I know all our players suck so much.
No, no,
I
no,
mean,
no, no, no. I'm just
no,
not
really, no,
saying that.
really. It's these scenarios. We're nitpicking. So annoying when you guys do this, but it's
Well,
I get it. It's a
Yeah.
podcast. We have to. I'm just the other side, like looking at
well,
it, watching it lead up to it. No, go ahead.
I say they've given up quite a few goals in 4 games, and some of them have been set pieces. And after the game too, Cabral did say that they need to work on set piece defense. So it's not just us.
Really, really, Cabral. At least we're not LA Galaxy in -6 goal differential, but
LA
we are
Galaxy
-3.
Holy
-3.
cow.
Yeah. Don't worry,
That's
we're
insane.
not in a good trend. -6, -5. -5's Houston, right? We're -3. And the other team worse is Portland, -4 in the West. A couple East teams, Toronto, New England, and Montreal are all -4 too, and -5
So now,
Toronto.
I do want to say, due to I think our prayers have been answered from last season. There was a lot of situations that happened last season where Tyler disagreed and was very unhappy with the ruling of someone standing in front of a goalie. And it didn't go our way. Luckily, he complained so much, prayed so much that we had one come
I
our
know.
way off of a brilliant strike that should have just been a goal. It should have been a goal. I don't like that rule by any means. Like, it's a dumb rule, but that was a solid strike. Nothing Cabral, even if Cabral was watching it, I don't think he's getting
Yeah.
that. It's brilliant. But thanks for that rule. I'm glad we finally got one coming our way.
I know. One finally went for us, right? And I was like, they're going to call it back. They have to call it back just to make some balance in the universe. Call it back. And then they did, and I was like, that sucks.
I
It was
bet
a
you right
great
now,
strike.
Coach is just giving a little clap like, hey, there you go. You guys got one back.
I know. I'm like, that so sucks
I had the
because that
same
was a
thought too.
great
The first thing
goal.
I thought of when they called it back was Tyler has to be so happy.
I was happy, but I was still going like this, shaking my head, going, I don't know, dude. I don't like that rule, but they should be up 2-1. What do you do?
And that would have been a really telling. It might have been a turning point in the game if
Yeah.
Houston goes up 2-1. RSL has struggled when they've gone down this year. We're only 4 games in, so it's a small sample size.
Why are we talking like this already? Oh my
But
god.
it was kind of revealing, after the they went down 2-1 in San Diego. You could see their heads drop, and so it was good that they ended up staying 1-1, and RSL continued to play well, and they got the second goal. So was there anything in between? I guess we should say, I felt bad for Tarbell. That's rough.
I
The
didn't see
keeper,
what happened. What happened there?
he got subbed off.
Well, that's all I saw.
So he went up
Report.
to grab the ball, and he jumped off his right foot to in the air, grab the ball, and then he came down on his left, and you could just see kind of like a hyperextension, or you could see his knee kind of. I don't know if it's serious, maybe, but just enough to where
Okay,
you
that
could
was the
see
play.
his knee buckle, and he fell out of bounds, and RSL got the corner kick out of it, and then we almost lost Cabral too. I don't know if he was diving later
That,
in the game, and
yeah, if you watch the replay though, it seems like it was kind of light because it wasn't like that big of a contact to the post. He was kind of, I think he was just milking it.
he could be.
Dude,
He's a very
dark
smart
He's
arts
keeper, and
there.
Brazilian, you know.
he had some sort of injury in the San Diego game, I think it was, but
Yeah.
where he was down for a few minutes, and they almost brought the stretchers out, and then they revamped their defensive approach, and he was better.
Yeah, they're like clear, and he's oh, I'm back, guys, I'm back.
So do you want to talk about the second goal?
No, let's just go past. Let's go to the third goal.
Yeah, second goal was for them or the
Yeah.
second goal for us.
The third goal. The second goal for RSL. Sorry, geez.
Yeah,
You guys
so many
so
goals,
upset.
so little time. They called that goal. Does that one count or no?
It's a
It
point
does
five.
tonight, yeah.
All right. So towards the end of the half, let me tell it like it's a story. All right,
Yeah.
gather around, kids.
And gather. Oh, I'm excited. Let's go.
Dad's telling a story. All right, so here's what happened. There we were in Houston. Half is winding down. They say there's 8 minutes of stoppage time, and the announcers say there could have been 10.
What?
Whoa, Dad,
10?
say it ain't so. But here they go, back and forth, back and forth. Escobar gets a yellow card. Luna gets a yellow card. What is
What?
happening? And then all of a sudden, oh wait, I was after that. I'm post-shadowing. No, then, and I love this freaking goal because the same thing happened in the first goal. Luna got close to the sideline, and instead of letting the ball go out of play, he accelerated when the other team let up, and he dove into that like ball going out of bounds, kind of saved it with his hip. That was freaking cool. Go back and watch it. It's barely in the clip of the highlights, but if you watch just a few seconds before that, the possession RSL had was very impressive leading up to that goal, and the effort that Luna put in to get that ball out and whip back around was top notch, right? It was so cool.
Yeah, they were a little upset. They thought he was too physical and kind of fouled the Houston guy. And I thought for a second you might have seen a whistle, but he let it go. And I love the way he dug it out of there.
Yep. Whipped it
How's
back
the rest of the
around.
story go?
Yeah, 3 or 4 guys got in on it, and then Mark Zook did that fake driven ball because
Was
he's
delicious.
done that a few times, right? So he fakes that, goes onto his left foot, and honestly, I think he was shooting. I think he was
Oh,
trying to go
Oh,
far
yeah.
left post, right? And Luna's just like making the late delayed run because he had dug the ball out and he recycled his run. You know what? That's a great goal. Like anytime you cut in front of a shot and you just redirect it, there's no way the goalie's going to be able to react fast enough to keep up with that. So he knew as soon as it hit his head that it was going past the keeper, and just making sure it stayed inside the net was, just the nod of his head. And that, kids, is a good team goal. Story
yeah, a
time is
little bit
over. Thank
little
you.
fortunate though, as well, because but fortune favors the bold. We've heard that before.
Wait, what?
Send it across, and it came to Ojeda or somebody up top, and they kicked it and just deflected off a defender, Houston guy, and over to Dominic.
Oh yeah, because Bodie tried to send it back in,
Yeah,
but it
maybe it was
just
Boldy.
banked off of him and fell to Mark Zook.
So, but the point, it was a brilliant goal, and that's kind of a goal that probably gets Diego Luna to Europe just a little bit faster.
Okay, now we got to address that. Now listen, kids and adults too. Remember, when you go to Europe, especially England, and you want to go to England, you have to have a certain percentage of caps. They have an idea over there that if you are an international superstar, and they have like a criteria, then you can sign if you have a certain level of national team appearances, availability, and all that stuff. If you've been on the national team sufficiently over the last certain amount of time, they just kind of sign your, I don't know what their visas are called over there. P1 visa, that's what they're called here. What are they called over there in the island nation of, what's that called? Ingerland? Something like that. Anyway,
The United Kingdom.
right. It accelerates the passportedness into that nation. So the work visa, whatever it's called, work permit. Yeah. So don't be too excited that Diego's getting another U.S. call up. That actually bodes well for him leaving and going to England. So keep that in
Or
mind.
wherever he wants to go. He was voted, I think, one of the top 3 players that general managers are expecting to make the jump out of MLS and to Europe and to another league. So,
Wow.
yeah, we'll see how he does in the Nations League. He got that call up, so he'll be playing for the national team here shortly. So that's really exciting for him, and he looks
If
like a
he can
different
get
player
playing
this year.
time. I mean, this is
Yeah.
like the full team, not the backup team, right? So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure I would not be surprised if he got significant minutes at some point.
We got Panama and then the winner of Mexico Canada. So March 20th, 23rd.
And you can't look past Panama. I think Panama's was it Panama that knocked the U.S. out of the World Cup?
Yeah, well, not the World Cup, but there was some tournament they were in recently. The
Yeah, one of
League of
those.
League of
Caribbean
Nations,
Nations. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I think is
gentlemen.
the
That's what I was thinking. Well, let's go to halftime since we're off subject once again.
All
We
right,
go to half at
halftime. Here we go.
2-1. We're living pretty. We're happy, and now everybody's in the locker room deciding who gets an orange slice.
Yeah, so let's go with the orange slices. Who wants to start? Who's going to hurry and
So
take Diego?
I'll go with Luna. Yeah, he
Man,
did real good. He assisted the assist and then finished off the other one. Just killing it, kid. Love it. Love the intensity of play. I don't know if I love the short corner thing still, but whatever.
yeah.
I'm a short corner fan, but I think you have to mix it up. You can't do 5 in a row. You have to throw one in after a couple. So mine is obviously going to be Cabral, right? No, I'm just kidding. I'll save Man Crush for later.
Man crushing again.
I'm going to go with Dominic Marchuk for
Uh,
being the fire plug over there and getting into it with Escobar. Hopefully he's not saying anything over there because Escobar was pretty mad at him.
well, I couldn't believe Escobar didn't get 2 yellows. He deserved 2 yellows so many times, but they left him in the game. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't know if Dominic, and his different culture where he's from, hopefully he's not saying anything untoward, but he really had Escobar wound up. And after the second goal, you can see him go over there and shake his fists at Escobar. But they were going at it all game. It was,
Well,
Loved it. Loved it.
well,
That
then
was like my
Ponce
favorite
was
thing to watch.
ticked at the end. Sorry, go ahead, Brennan.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
You like it when they mix it up like that?
Oh, yeah. So, like, my favorite thing is I love when the sport gets intense to where they get pissed off by like how well they're playing. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not that they hate each other. They're just physically like they're going at it at a high level and it's just making them mad. And I love that. Like that's just competition. Like I love that so much. And Dominic is not afraid of it. And that's what I was really impressed with. That's why I was going to go with him because he doesn't, I mean, last season we saw it too. He didn't back down from anybody. I liked it a lot. But I guess I got to give my orange slice to somebody else. So I will say Puyol. I'm so satisfied with Puyol's movement, his ability on the ball, his runs, his setup play. I mean, the guy is so good. And you put him put him with a Jago. Puyol, I feel like just outplays him in every category. I think I've already said this. I probably already said this. But I'm so close to buying a Puyol jersey. Depending
Nice.
on who they sign and stuff. Yeah, Catranis or
Aussie.
Puyol. One of those.
Nice. No, I love that. I love that. Those three all played really well, and we didn't even talk about Diogo, who was like man of the match, I think, wasn't he?
Maybe.
Maybe
Yeah. Well, I think it might have been Diogo's best game at RSL.
he played more like a DP though, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's got a long way to go, but he's creeping away from the Menendez line quite a bit.
Closer to the Morales line, huh?
Yeah, he's
It's
heading
kind
over
of
there.
similar to the Crooks line, isn't it? I mean, because how long did Crooks
Ooh,
last? Ooh. Yeah, that guy
Well, you know,
shook around.
Matt Matt was nowhere near the Menendez line, but he wasn't. He also didn't get close to Morales, but he also wasn't a DP either, was he?
No,
I think he was a
I
bought
think he.
down DP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was close.
So I liked and I thought Diogo had his best game so far. He didn't disappear as much. He was much more active. Also, I thought Anelli, he got the assist on the first goal. He's been playing well. He also, marking issue on the Houston first goal. But I'm sure if
Mm.
you ask him, he'd be the same way. It's like, man, yeah, he got pinned behind him. So who else stood out?
Well, you know what was interesting? I thought it was crazy. Right before Luna's goal, they had like four corners in a row, right? They had three, and then they had a free kick, and then finally the way we kind of got it out of our end is Glad finally won a free kick, right? And that's what finally stopped their like blitzkrieg on us, and we finally turned it around, and then we were able to go down to the other end, and Marchuk had a good shot, and then Luna finished it off. So very
Yeah, they were.
resilient performance.
I think honestly, I think Houston. This was their game to win. I think the early goal was a huge factor in us staying in the game. Because Houston's level, even though they got rid of Ache Ache and big haired annoying guy, they had so many chances, and that first half was a tough first half. I mean, didn't they have a header that was like not even a foot away from going in? Like
Oh, I watched that. Yeah, I watched that again. The ball came across. It was a beautiful chip ball because he would I think it was Bossy drove to the end line, which RSL did a little bit more as well, and just clipped it across goal. I think it was Ponce that was wide open, but I think I watched it again. Dorsey kind of
Oh no way.
bumps into him because the goal was wide open. It was harder for them to miss it because he sent it all the way back across in front of goal and I think out.
Yeah, which is what you're
But
supposed
yeah,
to do, kids. Send it back
I
the
don't know
way it
how they
came.
missed that. So yeah, RSL, I think you're absolutely right. We can get to the stats at the end of the game, or we can talk about the stats right now if you want.
Well,
No, let's get it at the end of the game. Do we even really need to talk about the second half? I mean, do we? Is
they
there
came
anything going
back,
on?
and I mean they had some good chances, not amazing chances. There were a couple times when Cabral had to come up big. In the end of the game, seeing the game out almost drove me nuts, man. I was like, Bodie, what are you doing? He was like packing it in, and he wasn't getting out wide to defend the guy that he was defending well the whole game. Like, get out there and defend him. Quit letting the crosses come in. But I think he was coached to pull back and to let the other guys defend the balls in. But I don't know. It seemed weird at the end. It's almost like we were trying to let him go ahead and let him cross it in. We'll kick it out. We'll be fine. And I was like, what are we doing? Stop it. You drive me nuts.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we can talk about the subs. 57th minute, T Wolf came in for Mark Chuk,
yeah.
and I think um, Tyler's starting to really. I like it when he gets in there because he's quick. He's all over the place. He really likes to get into it. He had that opportunity
The
where he
breakaway at the
forced
end.
yeah forced the keeper to push it out of play, and we got a corner kick out of it.
Yeah.
But I really like that. And then the 68th minute, Palacio came in for Ojeda, and also Jago came in for Piol. And I thought Jago acquitted himself nicely. You know,
He likes to knock people over, and I can
yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, he gets in there and he's a presence, and that's what you want. Is it, he could have a nice role there as he works his way into a starting role. That's a nice place to be as a sub that your coach can count on to get in there in games and get into dangerous spots and play some defense and create some havoc on that back line. So wasn't too disappointed with that. And then Pablo Ruiz came in the 79th minute for Luna.
That's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. How did you guys feel about Pablo Ruiz's application to the game? Did he amplify it, or did he kind of ruin it a little bit?
Well, I think the game was meant to be ruined because we were ahead, right? So just go in there and muck it up, right? Slow it
Yeah.
down, knock it around, do whatever you have to do. But I'm glad he didn't come in for
Earlier?
Nelly or Ojeda, right? And play in that
Wait,
defensive role.
didn't he come in
I'm
for
glad
Ojeda?
he's not. What's that?
Didn't he come in for Ojeda?
No, he came in
No, he
for
came
Luna.
from Luna.
Oh, he came in for Luna.
Yeah, so he kind of played the top, middle, center, whatever, right?
10-ish.
Kind of left side, kind of middle. Yeah. But yeah, it was strange. The game got weird at that point, right? It kind
Yeah.
of maybe he was told go in and muck it up, knock the ball around, just make us win this game, and so that's what he was trying to do, and that's what it felt like. But that's what we've always been worried about with Ruiz is that the ball just gets passed right through him. He's the easiest guy to have his line broken on the whole team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also, he was that second or was that his second time getting in a game in Major League Soccer? Maybe third time overall, I can't remember. But he also hasn't played for a year and a half too. So, getting him 10 minutes is probably a good thing. But
Yeah.
I
Ease him into it.
I agree with Brennan. I think and Tyler. I think got to be careful giving him too many minutes because he can be a liability.
At this
But
point,
he's still, we don't have anybody that brings a lot of chaos either at the moment, like Andres Gomez did while he was up there. So, and we can talk about that last minute. I think it was the 88th, 89th minute where they sent in the cross and Bartlow is just wide open again. Another wide open header in the box, and he drilled it right at Escobar. If it was probably if it was Ponce or Bossi, one of their forwards, I think that goes in. But yeah, he drilled it right at Cabral, and
on Cabral, I was like,
I
he
know. I
hit
was like
Escobar.
Escobar.
no,
Well,
yeah,
it hit
right at
him in the
Cabral.
chest and he kind of pushed it sideways and he almost pushed it in, dude. It hit
Yeah,
the
he got
post
it.
and went out. I was like, what are you doing, man? God.
I think he was surprised. The guy drilled it right at him. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
it was like a mosquito or a cat was on his chest. He's like, ah! I was like,
why are
what are
you
you
hitting it at me? You
doing?
should be hitting it down to my left.
Yeah, it
So
was
yeah, that
crazy.
was that was scary, and that might have been, that might have been a fair result. A 2-2 draw at the end. Looking at the stats now, if you look at the stats, I was really surprised that how the stats went. 18 shots for Houston, 10 shots for RSL.
Yeah,
Only
but we might be outshot a lot this season, right? Like that may be a very consistent theme because we don't take just a ton of random just, okay, shoot it. Like we don't have a ton of that on our team. We're more like, okay, make sure this is a good quality chance before we hit it. And I don't know if that's after 4 games, a pattern, Brennan, or if it's like, we're gonna keep playing like this and we're only gonna take quality chances. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
But 18 is a lot. But
18 is
they only had two on goal, but they did kind of just shows that they were on top of RSL quite a bit. Corners 9-6 for them, 9 for them, 6 for us. Total
total
crosses,
passes.
we had 4.
Four
Go
total
ahead.
passes.
No, 4 total crosses.
Crosses.
We used a
Yeah.
couple of seasons ago. We used to lament that RSL was just sending in cross after cross, 16 and trying to find Dami, and then
Yep. Not the
that
problem this year, right?
no,
We have grown so much. It's so much better.
But total
and
passes too, we kind of hunkered in a bit more in this game. 37 on the total passes to their 482, which sounds right for a Houston RSL game, but they kind of pushed the tempo quite a bit more than they normally would. And I think it's because we were ahead for the whole second half. You know what I mean?
yeah, and as you were pointing out, we can't let them.
Yeah. And it kind of worked out anyway, right?
Yeah, and if you look at expected goals, at least from the Major League Soccer side, 3.3 for Houston, which kind of when you have two point blank wide open headers on goal, that's pretty good expected goal.
Yeah, and
However,
RSL was only 1.2, so I
so
mean,
yeah,
we kind of excelled and they kind of missed a couple chances. But that's what happened to us last week, and
it's one of those games too, like it kind of evens out down the road.
yeah,
RSL's going to have a game where they're going to outshoot their opponent and drop it 1-0 or 2-1 or something.
yeah, yeah.
That's why we love soccer, right? Because it's so weird.
Because it's so unpredictable. Any given Saturday.
Yeah, so any other thoughts on the game? I mean, it was nice to get a win. That's a nice confidence builder. They like you said, they kind of played the game out, got lucky a couple of times not to give up goals. So, and then they also had the VAR goal called back,
Right.
but they didn't lose their composure. They didn't crumble like they did against San Diego and Herediano. So that's an improvement.
You think they crumbled in San Diego?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit, especially after the second goal. You know, that third goal, I thought San Diego was going to get a fourth goal because the players were so disappointed and checked out after, fighting so hard against a relatively decent team who ended up getting a draw this weekend. One thing I wanted to ask though, since you brought up San Diego, one of the things I've noticed with RSL and a little bit with Puyol is the pace of their passing. I was really impressed with San Diego. Their pace of even their shorter passes, their decision making was a lot quicker and it was really pretty. Maybe it was just that one game. I haven't watched them their other games, but they've had a good start to the season. But they have some good players that get the ball. They probably know two or three passes that they can make before they even get the ball. And I noticed like Puyol and some of the RSL players, they have opportunities and they don't hit the ball crisply enough. Kind of, it's not quick enough. It's a little slow, and it kind of shuts down some opportunities moving forward with RSL. Have you noticed that, or am I just up in the night?
No, so like I think I said on the last podcast, one thing that San Diego does really well is they keep everything very simple. When you have, one or two options every single time, you can make those decisions really quickly and you can see them really get the ball, possess the ball for quite a bit of time and be able to move it throughout the field. So I think they're building to be something pretty good. The only thing is I'm afraid San Diego is going to be kind of like St. Louis. They're going to be good at the first stretch, and then once things start to become more detailed, I think they're going to start to fall off. But I don't really see San Diego as being the best team in the West.
No.
They're second right now. I mean, that's pretty impressive after 4 games, but 2 ties at
True.
home and 2 wins on the road, but one road was, LA, so not really a road trip there, but whatever.
How they have fallen, man. How can you? I mean, one guy gets injured and you're just done for the rest of the next season? That's insane. But whatever. I think USL's coming, so we're just going to switch to USL anyway. You know what I mean? We're just going to we're going to be like the random fan podcast for USL. It's going to be
Yeah,
amazing.
promotion, relegation. Yeah. If you get promoted or relegated out of the USL, I mean, you go right down playing against a high school team, I think. I'm not sure, but
Right?
at
They
least
got their
not,
own pyramid now, right?
yeah, at least in a high school stadium. We'll see. They do have some, speaking about that, I think they still have to hit some benchmarks to get the D1 status. They might be close, but they still have to get some more larger stadiums and some other stuff. We can talk about that another time, but my point was that I thought the RSL needs to be a little crisper on the ball,
Yeah.
and San Diego was a good example of that. But as I was asking, did I see that right? Because I think Puyol, some of their passes that could have been crisper kind of slowed down, and we didn't get some forward play that we could have had some breakaways.
Well, and I think in contrast to Houston, who all of their guys have very, very quality touches. Rossi keeps the ball close and tight. So does Artur. So does Ladero. Even McGlynn for the young kid he is. I'm not sure however you say that guy's name. He's
Kowalski.
a little, yeah, that guy was a little bit more of a loose cannon. Everybody besides him had really good touches on the ball, so it kind of stood out. I think in this game when someone didn't have a great touch, it was like, oh, maybe that guy can't play at this level, kind of a thing. And Brandt's like, how does this guy have an MLS contract? No, no, that's my funny moment of the game, which there were only a couple in this game, and they were all for RSL, which is kind
Well,
of sad.
Ponce, in that header across goal.
Okay, I mean, he missed the goal by inches, but, sure, we can say that's the same thing as stepping on the ball and falling
He
over.
was he was 4 feet away from goal and missed it all the way
Yeah,
across.
and that's fair.
But he can blame Dorsey. He got in the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which goes back to the very last play of the game, and Bodie Hidalgo was guarding Ponce, and Ponce moved back to head it, and Dorsey was coming up to volley it. And freaking Hidalgo just shoved Ponce right into Dorsey, and the ref blew the game. He's like, "That's it, game's
It's
over."
over.
I was like, "Oh, That's great. Good job, Bodie. I thought that was funny. If you can't get it with, one way, just get it the other way. Just get that win any
Well,
way you
Vera
can
did
take
that too. Like he got the foul called though. I think it was in the first half. The ball was sent to the about midfield, and Vera just ran up and shoved the guy right in the back, and then ran off as they called the foul. Like, yeah, I know, I fouled him. So RSL, we're in playoff position, 6 points after 4 games, which pretty good, I think, with the turnover and all the things they've been going through. There's some teams below them. We got FC Dallas coming in with 4 points on Saturday. Portland's down there. Kansas City, man, they don't have a. Kansas City, Houston, and LA do not have wins. They all have, I think, 1 draw and 3 losses. Is that right?
Could be.
So the real question is, what does Vermees have to do to get fired?
Well, I think that's like 9 or 10 games without a victory. So I think the Heat's getting up on him finally. But at the top of the table, Seattle, man, I think Ariola is out for the season, tore his ACL, and their
Oh, wow.
designated player, De La Vega, has just been injury prone. He can't seem to get away from injuries. But Seattle, they're just known for hanging around and making a nice late run. But up top, the top, Vancouver, 4 wins in the West. Four
Yeah,
games, 4 wins. San Diego, 8 points, as you mentioned, two wins, 2 draws, and St. Louis 8 points, same record. And Colorado, same record, 8 points. So in San Jose, yeah, they're cooling off. Although Chicho Arango had a banger in
I
their
know.
over the weekend.
What a
Did you
great
see
guy.
that goal? Freaking corner, and he just like dove and hit, like volleyed it out of the freaking air right before it hit the ground and in, dude. It was so sick. I was like, stupid Arango.
Yeah,
Don't
Then
worry,
I
he'll get
scout like
hurt
that.
in a couple games, or he'll get tired, or need a
he'll fall
massage.
back.
Who knows? Yeah.
So, any other thoughts on the game?
Yeah, and Vancouver, going back to them, they're playing pretty impressive. They kind of switched up the way they play a little bit. They kind of made Berhalter one of their main guys, which is kind of funny because his dad used to coach the national team. But he has 4 games started, and Jaden Nelson came over from Toronto, which I hated playing against that guy when he was here. He was the guy at the big fro.
You played him?
No, but
You
I was
played him?
sitting by you when we played him, and I was like, dude, that Jaden Nelson guy, he's hard to play against for us. He was kind of owning us. But anyway, he's doing
Yeah.
pretty good too. So has
Well,
Krylock
I'm
gotten
really
any
happy.
minutes yet?
No, he's not. Get him out of here.
I don't
I
know. I
don't
don't
think he
know.
has.
Actually, I want to look that up.
I think he had an injury already too.
No, not at his
Krylock
age.
did. Not his
Yeah.
back. Not the
That's
back. Tell me it's not the back.
He is a good guy, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he burn the bridge with Real though? Is he too far gone to come back?
I hope so.
I think so.
You hope he's
I
too
think
far gone?
I don't think he'd come back. And why would you bring him
Not
back?
as a player. Not as a player.
No. Just like a heartfelt acceptance when he gets here or
Yeah,
something.
like a coachish type player, liaison. I think that's what the plan was with him anyway. And then Vancouver offered him 2 year, so he's like, I gotta take it.
Yeah, they offered him a lot more than RSL was wanting to
Where is he?
offer
I don't
him.
even.
I think it was at least twice what they were offering him. And also, too, I think I remember that conversation too, that they did have some plans. They wanted him to play another year, and then maybe move into coaching, like Tyler said. I think I remember hearing that was an option, as Tyler pointed out.
All right. Do you want to know how many games and how long he's been in this season? I have
Yeah,
it.
let's hear it.
So he has been in for 1 game, and he has been in it for 3 minutes. That's
Yikes.
it.
Well, you
Yeah.
can't
Not great
expect
stat.
much for $1 million.
Does he have 4 goals?
That's 300. What is that? $333,000 a minute. That's incredible.
So far.
That's crazy.
I
I don't
love
even
it.
Yeah,
think
I would.
Ronaldo gets that.
Yeah, I think his time is done, and I think RSL should move on. I think some of the things that holds them back is they kind of held on to people too long. And if you look around the world, some of the other clubs, they tend to have a lot more turnover. There are players that stick around for a long time and become staples, but I think there's a higher bar to meet that than there elsewhere than there is. At least in Utah, we love our players and we don't ever want them to go anywhere. But Tyler sounds like he really wants to see Demir back.
No, not as a player. As a coach, though, yeah.
We've talked about that before. I think I'd like to see it get a little more seasoned and experienced coaches.
Not as a head coach, but like as an academy mentor kind of a
Oh, that's
thing.
fine. If he wants
Yeah,
to go in the
leader.
academy, that's
Work with
Monarchs or something.
Jason Christ for a while, stuff like that.
So we just kind of been rambling on because I'm kind of avoiding the Come On Crawley update. Holy crap. I actually watched the
Boy.
game on Saturday. It's time for the Come On Crawley. What the heck are you doing update? Worst game I've seen him played in years. It was awful. And I made a point to watch the whole
Hmm.
damn thing. It was
The
4
Charleston
nothing
one?
Huddersfield. It was 4 nothing Huddersfield the first
And
30
halftime.
minutes of the game.
Oh,
It was brutal. And it was just just horrible play. The second goal was an own goal, and it was just a comedy of errors.
Okay,
And it was
ready?
actually,
Hold on. Let me give you stats before you start talking. Huddersfield had 23 shots to Crawley's 13. Shots on target were 9 for Huddersfield, 2 for Crawley Town. Possession was 57 to 43 Huddersfield. Passes 524 to 410, so 114 passes more. Accuracy was 3% higher for Huddersfield. And it looks like you got 9 corners compared to your 7. So, yeah.
yeah, it was atrocious. It was 5 nothing until late when Adi Adiama
6.
got the goal, the conciliatory goal.
and
Yeah,
then
it was. And this, you want to hear something even worse? Field had not scored a goal at home this year. They'd gone
my gosh.
6 games at home without scoring a goal, and then Crawley rolls in, and they just go to town.
And the dam breaks and all that water just comes
Yeah.
flowing out.
So 9 games left, and we are only 12 points from safety with a negative 32 goal differential, giving up 71 goals. The most goals given up by 10 in League One this season.
Yikes.
So
Yeah,
you are
it's
literally in relegation zone. No, they do 4, right?
yeah, they do 4.
4. Okay, so wow, you have
Bristol
to.
Rovers are in 20th at 42 points. We're at 30, so 12 points from safety, and we've got 9 games to do the Great Escape. But it
Wow.
is not looking good. Although Scott Lindsay, they said, was at one of the games recently, so I do not know how Rob Elliott has kept his job, to be totally honest. Of course, they didn't get him a striker in the window in January, and they've had some injuries, but he has been
Are
outclassed.
they trying to tank? Are they pulling a
I
No,
can't believe
jazz
they
and
are.
they're trying to tank so they can get the top pick in next year's draft?
no, I think they really, really, really wanted to stay up in League One. They were not trying to, they knew they couldn't compete and head into the championship, but their goal was to, and they had the players at one point, obviously, to stay up. And I really don't think they wanted to go down because the money you get in League One is more. It's not, substantially more, but it is more. And you really don't want to face relegation because it's tough to just turn it on, right? You can't just say, hey, well, we'll just win the League Two next year. I mean, when you come down, people want to punish you. I think Luton, I haven't checked the championship, but Luton Town, I think
Not
they're in the
winning.
relegation zone after
Yep.
being
Leeds
in the.
United is winning it right now because Brendan Aronson's turning it on there. Who Diego Luna took his spot in the national team basically, and he's playing for the best team in D1 basically. So
Yeah, Luton Town, who was in the Premier League last season, relegated to the championship, and they are in second to last place, right behind Derby County, at
boy,
35 points.
they're gonna
But
get
they are only,
Hull City 41.
double rel, dude.
yeah.
That would
So
be
you
crazy.
really don't want to get relegated because
Yeah,
it can.
especially if you have movie money in your team, like Wolverine or Deadpool kind of money on your team.
Yeah, let's not go there. So yeah,
Oh yeah, promotion baby. We love Wrexham.
Wrexham,
Let's go.
so the
love it.
pain is real. The joy was immense last season, but the pain is so real this season. So we'll see how it goes. They can still do it. I mean,
They could.
crazier things have happened, but when you get slaughtered 5-1 and it doesn't look like you care against a team that hadn't won at home for 6 games and hadn't scored a goal. Although Huddersfield, that's another example. They were in the Premier League a couple years ago. And they're
Yeah,
down
they're
in
in
League
sixth
One,
place.
so you don't
Crazy.
want to spiral. And the last thing you want to do is get down in the National League because it's hard. Although they are pushing to get a third promotion spot in the National League to League Two. So we'll see if that happens, but I doubt it.
Well, one of the coolest things happening, if you don't follow RSL all that close, or if you want to kind of dip your toe into international club soccer, the final eight of the Champions League is on. And April 8th it resumes. And here are the final eight teams in the Champions League. And they're pretty well spread throughout the region. So there's two German teams still left, Bayern, not Leverkusen, Bayern Munich. For those of you that don't habla German, anyway, and they play
Señor.
Inter Milan, so there's still an Italian team left. Inter Milan, the black and the blue, and then Barcelona drew Dortmund, so Spanish versus German. Then PSG, the lone French team left, drew Aston Villa, still very British team there, and then Arsenal still left. They snuck through with a 9-2 goal differential against PSV. Just barely by the skin of their teeth made it through. And they, as a result of their slashing of PSV, get to play for a reward Real Madrid, the Galacticos. Which is sad because those are my two teams. And so whichever team wins, I hope they win the Champions League. So, but there we are, the last eight of the Champions League. Home games are the 8th. Return games are the 15th, 16th, 8th, 9th, 15th, 16th. So if you want to watch some amazing international club soccer, get your, what is that one called? Paramount Plus subscription ready for that month. And buy it in April on the 7th. And then you pretty much get all those games. And then the final is May 31st. But the semifinal is May 6th, so you get all those awesome games for 1 month of Champions League.
The UEFA final is very fun. I've always enjoyed watching that. And also, congratulations to Newcastle
Yeah, won
winning the Carabao Cup, the first
the
cup
Energy
they've
Drink
raised
Cup.
in 70 years, 72 years, the first cup they've raised for their
70.
club. Yeah, 70 or 72. I think maybe it was 70. Still, I mean, give or take 2 years. 70
Sure.
years, first time they lifted a cup, and they were ecstatic, and especially beating Liverpool.
Yeah, and it was at Wembley though, right? In London. Wembley's in London, right? I figured you'd know that. Do you not know that? Or am I just guessing?
No, it's in London.
Oh, okay. Because I love how they do that. They like quarantine off. They have like so many like people in between. Like there's just tons of I don't know. They don't erect like a whole fence like they do in certain South American countries, but it is kind of fun to see the stands like white and black here and then bright red over here. Like it's pretty fun to see that play out that
Yeah,
way.
it's
But
and
yeah,
Wembley. Nobody plays there. It's the national stadium. The national team
yeah,
plays there. There isn't a. I think Tottenham played there one season or two while their stadium was getting built. But it's the national stadium just for soccer. It's pretty amazing. There's a
pretty cool.
great documentary if you ever want to watch a documentary on one of the games, one of the finals. I think it was the UEFA final where the fans crashed the game and stuff. There's a pretty good documentary that talks about that
Oh, where
hooliganism.
they knocked the fence over and that one.
It was really interesting. Yeah. Anything
Yeah.
else?
So lots of good stuff coming up there, and Arsenal's still in it, and so is Real Madrid. So
This
good
Saturday,
stuff.
RSL, Saturday, March 22nd, RSL host FC Dallas and fan favorite Anderson, Julio, and everybody that used to play for RSL gets a goal when they come back, right? It's just a
Kind
thing
of
we
how we
do.
are. As
Yeah,
long as
we're
we
nice.
win, that's the
Yeah.
trick, right?
I mean, we gave Dami one,
Rusnak.
Yep.
we have all the hits.
So 7:30, normal kickoff time. America First Field, FC Dallas, 22nd. Tickets available now.
Yeah.
Do we say that?
Call 1-800.
So 1-800 smash that like button.
Yeah, we're terrible. We should remind people to smash that like button. Follow us wherever you get your social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, also on YouTube. We're trying to put up more content this season for you. And where else? Goals.tv, and hopefully more in the future. So thank you for listening. As I don't know if you want to extend any invitations, Brennan, or
No? We're good.
Instagram post
Oh, yeah.
reminders.
Yeah. Please, if you've gone this far, for the love of everything holy, just send us a message. Just anything. Just say, hey, Brandt is annoying. Tyler talks too much. Brennan doesn't talk at all. Just say anything. We'll put you in a
Anything.
raffle. We'll put a hat on your head, and you can tell your cousin how great we are. So yeah, hit us up. A Random Fan Podcast on Instagram. Go to Spotify. Maybe leave a comment. Tell your mother. I've already told her,
on
but tell
X.
your mother. Yeah, on X.
Tell your friends.
Say hello to your mother for us. All right, thanks for listening.
On that note, we're out. See ya.
Ciao.